Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. Today is Tuesday the 10th of December and I'm back for a Flosstube extra video. So as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking today about my whip hit list for 2025, so projects that I would like to finish next year and things that I want to start next year. So I have a pile here of the things that I would like to finish, and I have a pile that's much bigger over there of things that I would like to start next year. I think for me personally, my whip hit list has really worked for me this year. If you've been following me for a while, and if you've been following me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is Blushing Pink Stitches as well, then you will know that I have been really focused on getting things finished the second half of the year. I started a lot of things and just worked on whips the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year I have started some things, but it's been very minimal. And I feel like the having the whip hit list has really helped me to be focused on what I need to be doing. Now, because I'm almost at the end of my whip hit list for this year, I have one project left. And as it's the 10th of December, I feel like that is definitely going to happen. So I will complete my whip hit list for this year. My whip hit list for 2025 has 10 projects on it. And some of them require more work than some of the projects did this year. And I'll explain more about that as I go through. But I feel like I've finished a lot of projects this year that have been hanging around for a couple of years that really didn't have tons to go on them, basically. Some of them did. But these ones, I've picked ones that again have been hanging around for a while and that I feel like it's manageable to finish them off in a certain number of rotations or something like that. So I've just got back from taking Bella to preschool. I don't normally have Tuesdays off, but my mum is away this week, and so I swapped my day to a Monday. So I went to work yesterday, I had today off. I've taken Bella to a gymnastics sort of like free play session this morning, and then dropped her off at preschool this afternoon. So yeah, I only got in about like 5 or 10 minutes ago, so I still feel like my body's coming down from that big walk that I did. But I do have a can of Fanta pineapple, which I bought from the post office on the way home, and is, yeah, really quenching my thirst. This has got loads of sugar in it, but it's one of those treats that you have to have every now and again, right? So let's get going on the whips that I want to finish in 2025. I'm just going to pick from the pile. These are not in any particular order. The first one that I've picked out that I want to finish is Flea Market Flowers, and this is by Laurie Holt. You can buy the pattern for this from the Fat Quarter shop. I started this as a sale with Laurie from Once Upon a Stitch last year at some point. I feel like it might have been in May. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. Laurie has finished hers and I haven't. So mine is being stitched on a 32 count white linen, or is it an even weave? It looks like a linen to me, with all of the DMC called for threads. And this is where I've gotten up to. So I think I worked on this for 2 rotations. I did one last year and I think I did one this year. Like, it's really not that much. It's not that much time that I've dedicated to it, basically. So my plan with this one is that you've got all of these different boxes with the flowers in. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I was thinking that I would do one a month. Some of them are smaller than others, but I think one a month is manageable. And I might even do more than one a month, but that's what I'm hoping to do. So yeah, I do really like this, and I love the colours in it. So that is something that I want to finish off next year, because I feel like it's one that is not going to be too difficult to finish off. Right, where am I going to put these now? Because I haven't got my normal... Should I just move these over here? Let's just move these over here. Okay. I do need to go and get a tissue though. Okay. The next one on the list. This is Christmas Birds by Our Forest Embroidery. I started this at the end of 2021, I think. Oh, I can't flip back in there. And then I had to restart it basically because I'd cut my fabric wrong, and yeah, anyway, so I restarted it in 2023. And it's on a 32 count summer khaki linen, and it is using all the DMC call for threads. And I'm about 40% of the way through the restart. So, no, that's not the restart. This is the one where I've done some massive wrong counting. This is the restart. Okay, so yeah, I'm about 40% of the way through. So let's just fold this in half. Here you go. So yeah, what I don't like about this is the white stitching. I don't like white stitching, especially on linen. I just have a real mental block with it. So there is a massive snowflake here. You can see it sort of juts out into the border, and there is a lot of white stitching to do there, and that's the bit that I'm on at the moment, and I've kind of stalled on it. But I was thinking the other day when I put this list together, right, well, the solution to that is to do a strand of white over here and then to work on something else. Strand of white over here, work on something else. And then that'll get me through that big snowflake, because that's the biggest snowflake on there. And then we can just move on from there. So yeah, I'm about 40% of the way through this one. So I was thinking 5% a month or 10% every other month, and I'll be able to finish this one off. Yeah, this is the kind of like the colour of the fabric. The light's not very good today. It's a very grey, overcast day. We've had lots of rain and storms over the last few days. If you're not in the UK, yeah, we had Storm Dara pass through and cause a lot of damage, especially in Wales. So yeah, it's still quite dreary basically. So that is number 2. Okay, this is going to be the full coverage that I'm going to finish in 2025. So this is going to be my focus on a finish. This is Mini New Solar System. The artwork is by Adrian Chesterman and it's shuttered by Artisy. And it's 200 by 139, so it's quite a small pattern. I say it was about, I can't remember how many thousand stitches that makes it. Let's just do that calculation, because I don't have my, oh, I do have my tablet up there. I could just work it out like that, couldn't I? 200 by 139 is 27,800 stitches. Now I did Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip in a year. Well, spoiler alert for my next Flosstube, I have finished that. And that was just under 24,000 stitches. So I feel like I can definitely do this one. So at the moment, I started this one back in May as part of my like birthday celebrations.
and at the moment I've stitched 802 stitches and it's at 2.88%. So I've kind of divided the amount of stitches that were left by 12, and I've got to stitch roughly 2,500 stitches a month, which for quick stitch Tranquil Tulip it was about 2,000, so it is a little bit more, but I think that's going to be fine. This is on 25 count white even weave. It's 1/1 full cross, and I am stitching this, I think, with Royal Broidery threads. I haven't written it on the back of there, I should do. I think it's Royal Broidery. I started top left like I normally do, and that's how far I got with it. Is that right? Is it? No, it's like that. I was like, the sun doesn't go in that direction, does it? Yeah, no, it's this way. So, yeah. Even, I mean, it's really like, it's a mini size, but the mock-up is looks really good. And obviously you're going to get more detail if you do a larger size, but you don't necessarily need to do a larger size with everything. So I'll show you the mock-up in a second. Let me just fold this back up again. I don't really know why I put my tablet away. Don't do that. So the mock-up looks like this, which I think is absolutely fine, especially for something like this. Yeah, there's enough detail in there. So yeah, that is going to be my full coverage focus on the finish for 2025, and that is going to be a gift for Stefan. I would like him to have that perhaps in his office at work or something like that. This one is another one that I started for my birthday celebrations in May. This is Happy Halloween. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. You can buy this as a PDF from their website, but I got the pattern out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Is it going to say on here which one it is? It was the Halloween 2021 edition of Just Cross Stitch. I'm stitching this on, let me get this back in here. This is on a piece of 32 count. Yeah, 32 count hand-dyed even weave from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics. And I'm using Royal Broidery threads, and this is how far I have got. Now, I worked on this for one day because that's what I was kind of doing in May with all of my starts. So I haven't got particularly far. So there is quite a bit to do on this because the moon is obviously full coverage behind that owl, and I've only just done this bit here. But I do think it's doable, and I've written down on here that I think if I do one rotation on this a month, then it should get done at some point in 2025. Because normally for me, a rotation is 2 days. I haven't really been following that lately because I've been trying to get things done, so I've just been working on things for longer. But normally I will work on something for 2 days. So yeah, hopefully that will mean that I can get that done in 2025. Okay. The next one I have got is, this is one that I want to finish for Bella. This is Little Dreamer, and it's by Anna Olchitskaya. I probably completely butchered that. It's of a little girl with this lovely sky and then a little unicorn, and it's just so precious. I don't have a percentage on how far I am along on this,
I need to update. I have got a saga file for it, but I need to update that. So I'm stitching this one, I think with DMC threads, on a piece of 28 count white even weave. And this is how far I have got. So I think I started this last year. Was it in November, or I think it might have been in November last year, and I haven't picked it up since. So that's how far we are. So you can just see the one of the branches of the tree coming in. There are some blends in this, but it does look really cool. And it is full coverage. So what I've written down here, that I do know how many stitches it is in total, so kind of like guessing how many I might have done. I've written down here that I need to do about 1,500 stitches a month in order to get that done. So that's what we're going to do on that one. I've got a piece of thread in here, which presumably is some sort of blend that I was using, but I haven't labelled it. And do you think I'm going to be able to remember what that is? No, so that I'm just going to put that in my bin pot. Just have done with that. Okay, this one I started with Vicky from the Virginia Stitcher. This is Forever and Ever, and it's by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is part of their Songbird Garden series. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count pearl grey even weave. It looks like even weave to me, by Zweigart, and I'm using all of the called for Weeks Dye Works. So this is one of my oldest whips, so this is why I wanted to get this one done. This is where we're up to. So I think this has had like 3 rotations in the time that it's been on the go. So I started by doing this flower, then I did this one, and then in the last rotation I did these leaves and this bud. So I've written down here that I think 5 rotations will get this done. It's basically splitting it up. The next bit I need to do is like these leaves in the house and perhaps the word love. Then the next bit I need to do this bird. So that's 2. 3 for like the flower in the middle. 4 for this bed over here, and then 5 for this final bit of greenery over here. That's my thinking. So yeah, there we go. And these are all of the Weeks Dye Works threads. So yeah, when I first started that, I was really sort of conscious of the fact that I was stitching with hand dyed threads, and so I was sort of doing one stitch at a time. And now when I pick it up, I'm kind of like, I'm not so bothered, because a lot of those threads don't provide a lot of variation. So for example, like the dark green at the edge of the stem, it doesn't provide a lot of variation. You're not going to see that variation a lot of the time anyway, because it's sort of like really thin areas. So yeah, I'm not worrying so much about it now. This one is a Dimensions kit. This is Chickadees in Spring. It's a Gold Collection Petite. I'm using all the kit materials, so it is a 16 count Dove Grey Ada, and then obviously all the threads. And this is how far I've got. So I've got quite far. So I've written down here perhaps 3 or 4 rotations. I'm kind of thinking that this bit down here will be 1 rotation, because I started all of these flowers and things last time. Sort of like two rotations here, 3, and then 4. perhaps with the petites there's a lot more work to them than you realise. Like when I first stitched a petite, I was thinking, oh, it's only little, isn't it? Like this is only 5x7. It doesn't look particularly big, but there's a lot of colour changes, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of back stitch. The good thing about this one is that the background is all tent stitch, so that goes a lot quicker. But there's blends in here as well, so yeah, it is a bit of work, but I really love that pattern and I really would like to have that up somewhere, so I do want to finish that. Okay, how many have I got left? 3. This is a smaller one. I reckon I can get this done in 1 rotation. This is Epic Storybook Princesses. It's the Frozen pattern from Cloud's Factory. I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 count. 28 count even weave in navy from Zweigart. And how am I going to show this to you? That's how far I have got. So I just have on this side I have Hans, his father, and the like ice monster, and then on the other side I have Sven and the mountain to do. And each one of those figures was sort of taking me about, God, it's really blowing out, isn't it? About a day to do. There's not a lot of stitching involved in that. So yeah, and this is being stitched with Royal Embroidery threads. So I think I might be able to get that done in 1 rotation, maybe 2. What did I put down here? I put 1 rotation down, maybe 2. We'll see. Okay, this one was a travel project. So I was taking this one to Bella's dancing earlier in the year. So Steph and I do this thing where one of us, we alternate weeks. So I'll take her to dancing or shopping one Saturday morning, and then he'll take her the next week. And then while I was at dancing, I would stitch on this. But she switched dancing in September, and my friend, her daughter, goes to that particular dance school that she's now at. So we just chat basically the whole time. So yeah, I don't even bother taking my stitching now. So then that's not the one. Where is the one that I want? January, there we go. So this is the January Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. I have all of these and I would like to do them all. I don't have the material for them all yet. They're not all kitted up. Some of them are kitted up. This is the called for fabric, which I don't particularly like now, but when I've kitted these up, I was still sort of like a newbie when it came to like switching out things that hadn't been called, like switching out material and things like that. So this is a 28 count lambswool linen. And I'm using the called for Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works, but then the DMC I'm using Royal Embroidery, and this is how far I've got. I've still got my needle in there. I should take that out. Let's just put that up there. Yeah, I was in the middle of a stitch at some point. That is how far I've got. So I think 1 or 2 rotations and I should be able to finish that off. And then I'll think about when I'm going to start the other ones. So I have all of the patterns in here. I have some fabric, I have some threads. So I'll have to work out. I can definitely do February and March. They're all kitted up. But then I'll have to see after that. And then the last one that I would like to finish in 2025 is living in this lovely project bag from Stitchy, and it is Fruits of Plenty. So I haven't printed a picture off, so I'll put a picture up here. This is the second time I'm doing this. I stitched it once for me and I have it up in my hallway, and then my mum said that she would like me to stitch it for her, so I'm stitching it for her. And I'm using 32 count white linen, and the threads are 33 and 3608 from DMC. And I've stitched the first 6 blocks, so this is where we're at. Oh look, I started the 7th one, I didn't even realise that. There you go. So I've started on the 7th. I've got a thread hanging. I clearly wasn't feeling stitching the 7th block at that point. So yeah, I think the last time I stitched on this was July. I think so. And I just haven't been in the mood to pick it up. So I am now thinking, right, I'm going to stitch on this once a month for the first 6 months of the year and get it done. Because I do really want to finish it for mum. And I don't want it hanging around for ages either. So, let's just fold this back up again. I've got way more material here than I actually need. So I'll use the rest of that for something else after I finished it. There you go. So those are all of the things that I would like to finish in 2025. I'm going to pause, reset, and then on my windowsill I have all of the projects that I would like to start in 2025. So yeah, bear with me a second. Okay, so I've put all of those away. I've put them away in one drawer so that I did that with my whip hit list this year. I had that one drawer with them all in, so I knew exactly where they all were. So I've done that again this year. So, as some of you know, I did a 40 for 40, or I started a 40 for 40 project this year. In celebration of my 40th birthday, I wanted to start 40 things. And I can't remember how many I started. Should I have a little look? Is it in here somewhere? Where did that start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I started 17 new things just after my birthday. And I have started some things elsewhere in 2025, but I don't really know if I'm counting that as my birthday starts or not. Anyway, I thought I have been so focused on getting things done in the second half of 2025 that I've sort of built up this list of things that I want to start, but I don't want to start them yet because I've focused on finishing things. So a couple of weeks ago, I put together a physical list of things that I would like to start, and I concentrated on kits or patterns that I have been gifted from family members or whoever, and then things that have sort of come up as, you know, like towards the end of the year, designers kind of release things that they're going to be doing in 2025, like Shannon Christine, for example, Filipina, for example, and then just things that I've had on my mind that I want to start. There are currently 31 things on this list, so then we will go above the 40 for 40, but then that's fine. And I may start some other things. I may not start all of these in 2025, but this is my intention, that I want to start them. So I'm going to start with a little pile of kits. And this first one is Autumn Swing, and it's by Mill Hill. And this is a kit that my sister bought me for my birthday in 2022. So I thought it's high time that I started that now. I have sorted the threads, so you can see that here. So that makes it a bit easier when I get to it. But yeah, I quite like to start that one. I don't really know dates, and if anybody wants to start any of these with me, then feel free. The next one is, and again, I try to concentrate on things that I've had for ages as well. So this is a kit that I bought out of some birthday money. Again, I think it was in 2022. And it's a Dimensions kit. It's a gold collection. It's called Cherry Blossom Creek. The glare. I just love this big tree. And all of the colours in this. I mean, look at the colour of the water. That's gorgeous. This is going to be a massive endeavour. It is, let's say how big it is. Yeah, down the bottom, 15 by 10 inches. And it's full coverage from what I can tell. I mean, there might be a bit of space like in between these trees, but I don't even know if there is, to be honest. Perhaps, we'll see. But it's pretty much full coverage. It comes with a piece of 16 count light blue Aida, and then you've got all of the pre-sorted threads. But again, I was just like, how long have I had this for? It's just sitting around. I should start it because otherwise it will never get done. This is a kit I bought when I went to the knitting and stitching show with my friend Becky in October, and it is Green Pastures by Bothy Threads. The Aida that you get with it, it's 16 count and it's printed, so you have to kind of judge whereabouts to start, like the sheep, or yeah, maybe I'd start down the bottom in the middle perhaps. They must give you advice in here on how to do it, but I love this little scene, and so I wanted to start that. This is one of their cardboard box kits. Like everything in here is recyclable. Yeah, so I want to start that. This one is one that I bought quite recently and I have been eyeing for a start, and I just thought I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. This is the Old Bakery, and it's by a kit company called Punto e Arti. Yeah, that's not how you pronounce it, but anyway. It looks like it's sort of like an offshoot of Luca S perhaps. But it's the old, like I said, the Old Bakery. It's one that I bought quite recently. And I will leave links in the description box to where you can find all of these patterns and kits if I can. And there are a couple, there's at least one out of print thing on here, but I'll do what I can. So this is just cross stitch and back stitch. There's no French knots or fractional stitches. I had a look at the pattern already, so yeah, I want to start that again. It's another full coverage one. It is 180 by 180, and it does have some blends in it as well. You can see the colours. Comes with a piece of 16 count Aida. It's white. Yeah, I love the fact that they've printed the symbols on here as well. That's super useful. This is the kit that my friend Megan bought me for my birthday, again, a couple of years ago, and I thought it was high time that I started it. It's Spring Song by Magic Needle, and the blossom on here is right up my street, and I love the colour of these birds. So this is a bit of a smaller kit. It's not full coverage. It's 21 by 27 centimetres, or 8 1/4 by 10 3/4 inches. It does have some back stitch in it, a little bit like on the birds, but not much. And you can't see it in here, but it comes with a piece of 14 count blue Aida, and then all of the threads, which I believe might be are they gamma threads? It just says cotton mulin. yeah, I don't know. So that's that one. I've chosen some big full coverage kits, you know. This is the kit that my mum bought me for Christmas at the end of 2022. This is Spring Fairy and it's by Letty Stitch. I think it's the only Letty Stitch kit that I have, but I just love her. Look at her dress. This little deer down here, the bird, and then you've got the sunlight reflecting through her wings. It's gorgeous. Again, it's a big endeavour because it's full coverage. There is a little bit of back stitch on here in her dress and her hair and in the animals. Oh, and some French knots as well. I wonder where the French knots are. Maybe in the eyes, like the deer's eyes, maybe. Maybe. This has 16 count white Aida with it. And it's anchor thread. It's 16 by 12 inches. There you go. Again, all the symbols. Handy. Handy. There you go. And then the last kit that I have is a Caterpillar cross stitch kit that, again, my mum bought me for my birthday in 2022. It is Hello Pumpkin. I have stitched Hello Sunshine. It's the summer one. This is the autumn tree. So you've got the lovely fox in here and the owl, there's a little hedgehog, and then of course the pumpkins. I do like these trees. And the kit comes with 14 count white Aida and then all of the threads that you need. And I did email them at the time that I got the kit from Mum for my birthday and asked them if I could have a PDF copy, and they just asked me for my mum's order number and they sent the PDF across. So I also have the PDF now rather than stitching from the paper chart. Okay, so those were all of the kits, apart from one of my Christmas presents this year is from Stefan, is the Wreath of Roses kit from Dimensions. I'll put a picture up here. It's an out of print kit that I ordered off of eBay, and that's one of my Christmas presents. So I'd like to start that this year as well. Yeah, it's just lovely. It's pretty. It was a present. I need to start it. So let's start going through this pile of kitted projects. Well, most of them are kitted anyway. Okay, so there are some big ones, there are some small ones. I don't really, so for those of you that are new, I don't really mind how many projects I have on the go, how big they are, how small they are. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, there we go. I just like having fun with it. So this is a full coverage that I'd like to start next year. It is, well, I'm calling it Stained Glass Princesses, and it's by Cross Stitch Designs on Etsy. I saw a lady stitching this at Megan's Stitchy Day in Tunbridge Wells in October and fell in love with it. So I've just got a piece of 25 count in here that's going to be big enough for that, and I'll start that. I was thinking about cutting down this black border and just doing perhaps 1 or 2 rows rather than that big. I don't think it needs that big black border. What do you think? Let me know. But I think that's going to be a lot of black stitching that's unnecessary. So yeah, I was thinking of maybe doing 2 to like frame it, but you don't, I mean, that's like a 10 by 10 block. That's what it looks like to me. And it's quite delicate in here. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. This one is a Carolyn Manning Designs. I've had this one kitted up for a while. It's Watermelon Tourmaline. I've never stitched a Carolyn Manning design before. I've got a few of her patterns, and this is the first one that I bought. So I kitted it up with a piece of 25 count even weave. I'm going to do it 1/1 on this 25 count, so it is going to be smaller than perhaps it would have been over 2. Well, there definitely would have been. And these are all of the Royal Broidery threads. You do need multiple skeins of things, although I think she's basing that on doing it on like 28 count over 2 or 14 count. So I probably won't need all of these. But yeah, they're all the colours. Really, really beautiful. So I'm going to be starting that. By time. That's been sitting in my stash for ages. This is one that I mentioned in my recent Flosstube. I printed out a freebie chart from RC. I think it was free in April. It's Mini European View. It's an AI chart. You can now buy it from the RTC website. So yeah, when I link it, it's a paid for thing now. And again, I just have a piece of 25 count. I'll do that over 1. Not sure with what threads. We'll see. This is another full coverage. They're not all full coverage, I promise. This is Cherry Blossom by Blue Fox Stitchery. I was supposed to start this earlier in the year with Jenn the Caffeinated Crafter and Ailarra, but again, because I've been on this finish train, I didn't want to interrupt it, so I didn't start it. So I'm going to be starting it next year. And again, 25 count white even weave. This is one that I don't have fully kitted, but I don't think it matters at this particular point. Well, it doesn't matter. Oh God, I'm not going to be able to undo the zip. Oh, zip got stuck. This is Sakura, and it's by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I've had a bit of a hankering to start like a fancy lady from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I have her, and I have the Dark Queen of the Sea. And I did recently email them to say, are you going to release Dark Queen of the Earth? Because I'd really like that pattern as well. And they did say they would be doing that at some point in the future. So yeah, I'm going to be stitching this on a piece of Fabrics by Crafty Kate 28 count even weave. It's the September 2023 fabric of the month. This is a bit pinkier, but I think it will look really good on this. Yeah, I'm not taking it out of the packet. And then I have all of the Royal Broidery threads to go with. So this is the colour palette. So I'm missing the Petite Treasure braid and the beads from this kit, but both of those things will go after the normal floss. So when I start getting towards a finish on this, then that's when I will purchase the metallic thread and the beads that I need to finish that off. This one I'm stitching with my friend Sue on Instagram. It is Lily Otter. It's a pattern from the World of Cross Stitching magazine. It's by Hannah Dale. And I have a piece of 28 count speckled even weave that I bought from Bothy Threads. And then I have all of the called for DNC, but in raw broidery. So
So those are all the threads that I need for that. I don't know what order I'm going to be starting these in. Yeah, no idea. This is a Mirabilia pattern. Again, I've got it, so why don't I start it? This is Touching the Autumn Sky. This is an out of print Mirabilia. And I've got a piece of 28 count Mediterranean blue in here from Sparklies. So you just need a fat quarter for this. And then I have all of the called for DMC. And it just requires one lot of beads. So I just have the one lot of beads that I need. So I will start that next year. Okay. Okay, this is a small one. This is the Disney Castle stamp by Luna Foxstitch. I don't know the exact dimensions, but it is tiny. And I've got a piece where it looks like a piece of 14 or 16 count light blue Ada in here. And I'm just going to be stitching it from one of my master sets. So yeah, I'm going to do that. This one in here, living in this little project bag. This is Wilbur by Teresa Kogut. He's so cute. I've got a piece of 28 count Sparklies fabric. It was the fabric of the month from January and February of this year. I think he's really going to pop on that. And then I have all of the called for threads. So some of them are raw embroidery and some of them are like classic colourworks and Winx dye works. So yeah, I think that's going to be fabulous on there. And I might do what some people have done and put like a little spider and a web in the corner up here, or like maybe not a web, but maybe like a spider coming down off of the web here. I've seen that done and I think that looks really good. And I think that'll frame it really well. So yeah, that's that. This one, I don't have the material yet, but it is coming. Oh, I need to add one to this as well, don't I? Yeah, I'll put that up on the screen in a second. The fabric is coming over the next couple of days. This is Peppermint Ridge and it's by Shannon Christine Designs. It's her continuous Christmas club for this year. And it's just a lot of gingerbread houses and trees and things like that. So I have a piece of 25 count Ash Rose even weave from Zweigart coming. I will do it over 2 and I'll do it with raw embroidery floss. Yeah, so I've got that one. And the one that isn't on here, so actually it's 32, is, well, I'm calling it Japanese geishas. What are geishas? Geishas. I'll put a picture up of it here. Who's it by? I've written it down somewhere in here. It's by Milana Art Designs on Etsy. And I'm going to be stitching this with my friend Amanda on Instagram. She also has a Flosstube channel. She hasn't posted in a while, but I'll leave it linked down below. And I've got a piece of 25 count bone even weave that I'm going to be stitching that on and omitting some of the background. So yeah, I'm going to be starting that with her next year. So that's 32 actually. This is going to be another present for Stefan. This is Shine On. It's a pattern from Emma Congdon. And this was in
Cross Stitcher magazine, March 2021, but you can buy this from the Stitcherovia Etsy store. And she's got them as buttons here, but I'm doing them in a big circle. I don't know if I have a picture of that. If I find a picture of that, I'll put it up on the screen. So I have a piece of 14 count black Aida. And then these are the called for threads, but in royal broidery. So yeah, I would like to get that done for him. Perhaps for his birthday, we'll see. His birthday's in February. I feel like we're going to start losing. Oh, I can move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay. We're getting through them, This is Autumn by the Cricket Collection. I've had this kitted up in my stash for ages. I've got a piece of this is Lakeside Needlecraft Shades of Autumn. It's 28 count, I believe, yeah. So I thought that would look really good on that. And then I have all of the called for threads. So I've got the DMC but in royal broidery. And then the couple of silken colours that you need, I treated myself to these. These are, this one is called Prairie Grass. And this one is called Autumn Bouquet. I don't know whereabouts they are in the pattern. I've never stitched with these before, but I figured I would give them a go. I don't even know how you separate them. I'm guessing that you separate them in the same way that you do other things. They seem like they've got more strands. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll give that a go. I'm putting everything back because otherwise I just will have a disaster on my hands. Okay, this is another smaller one. This is Rockin' Robin and it is by Love Poppet. I think it was last Christmas. There were a few people on Instagram stitching this and I absolutely fell in love with him. I've got a piece of 14 count like cream sparkly Aida that I'm going to be doing this on, and I've not kitted it up with threads because I thought I'd just do it out of my master set. So that's that. This one is Santa's House. It's by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I've got all of these now, apart from the Tudor House, which is like the bonus pattern that's coming soon. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about the fact that there are now 13. Don't know. Because I'm stitching the whole series on one piece of fabric. So I have a piece of 25 count silver grey Lugana from Zweigart. So I'm going to do it over one on this. And I just have the threads for Santa's House at the moment, so we'll just start with that. So these are the called for DMC. I've kitted this up in DMC. Except for the fact that I switched out the white for B5200 because I think it will show up better on this grey. It's a tad lighter than the called for. And then I have, I'm not going to need two skeins of these now, the Ladybug and Plymouth Rock from Classic Colourworks. I have two skeins of them, but because I'm doing it 25 count over one, I think I'm only going to need one skein. Yeah. So that'll make kitting up the other ones easier. So I'm just starting that one at the moment. I'm starting to get hungry now. I haven't had lunch. What time is it? Yeah. So we're going to get through these
and then I'm going to go and eat. Let's just flip them all up now. Okay. This is one that I'd like to do for the house. This is Otter family, and it's by Little Beach Hut Cross Stitch, and she has an Etsy shop. And there are different variations of this family, so there are that you can have 1 child or 2 children or 3 children or whatever. I think it's really sweet. So I have a piece of, oh, I've got a thread stuck to it there, 28 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabrics in this bluey colour. And then I have all of the called for royal embroidery. So I think it would look really nice on there. That's that. This is going to be my first Barbara Anna design. It's the only one I own actually. Dreaming Girl, the classic, the original. I really like her. So I bought a piece of the called for material, which or the called for fabric, which is a 32 count even weave in this sort of like petrol blue colour. I don't know the actual colour for it. And they very helpfully don't put the colour code on these pieces, but... And then I've kitted up with royal embroidery threads. So I have all of them there. So I'd like to give that a go because I do really like the Barbara Anna patterns. Okay. This is an Anna Petrinova. Again, I've had this in my stash for so long. This is called Spring Door. She has her own website where you can purchase this. I think I originally bought it off of mybobbin.com, but you can purchase it on her website, which is something like Green Terrace Design. I'll link it down below. I've just got a piece of 28 count white even weave for this. And then these are all of the royal embroidery threads. Folder. This is another one for my daughter. We're getting to the last few now, guys. This is Rainbow Mood, and it's by a shop called Cross Stitch Patterns with 1T on Etsy. My daughter picked it out. I'm just going to do this on a piece of 28 count white even weave over 2, and I've got all of the called for royal embroidery. Don't think that's going to take me that long to do. This is a Bella Filipina. It is Magnolia. It's from the Au Naturel collection of patterns. Take the price tag off. I'm stitching this on a piece of Fabric of the Month from June 2024 by Fabrics by Crafty Kate. Just a nice neutral. Not too much going on because it doesn't need it. And then it doesn't require any beads, just like DMC, which I've switched out for royal embroidery. So those are all of the colours. I'm going to be starting that at some point next year. This one you saw recently, or these next couple you've seen recently on my channel.
This is the Halloween Buckets stitch along from Shannon Christine Designs. It's her continuous Halloween club, and we've had the Frankenstein's Monster bucket come out and the pumpkin one so far. So I have got a piece of 27 count vintage country mocha even weave, the fat half, and the royal embroidery. And then this isn't an up-to-date picture because they have released part 3 now. This is another one that I haven't fully kitted up. This is the Blackwater Sirens stitch along from Bella Filipina. And we've just had part 3, which is like the rest of her tail down here that's been released. So I have to get a more up-to-date picture. So I don't have any of the threads, beads, nothing in here. I'm just going to be stitching from stash. I'm going to do all of the threads first, and then I'll buy the beads and the Krynic. No, it's not Krynic, it's Rainbow Gallery afterwards. And I have a piece or 28 can even weave from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics that she specially dyed for this stitch along. So it's this lovely blue colour and it has some spots of other things. So I'll try and get caught up with that. Perhaps I'll start that in January. Another one for Bella. How many do I have left? Oh, I have 3 left. This is Beautiful Tangled and it's by Nelly Designs. And even if she falls out of love with these, I don't really care because I'll enjoy stitching them. Yeah. And I just have a piece of 25 count, it's a fat quarter, and I stitch all of my full coverages from my master sets. 2 left. This is going to be a gift. This is Biker Gnome, or Gnome Biker, by an Etsy shop called Favourite Gnome, and this is going to be a gift for my stepdad. So I just have a piece of 14 count, oh no, this is 18 count white Ada. And I'm going to be stitching it from stash. And then the last one is another Mirabilia pattern, one that I bought the kit for this year. Oh, well, minus the fabric anyway. This is Snow Queen by Mirabilia. And I have a piece of 28 count even weave from, it's not got a name to it, it's from Kate at Sparkly's. It was in her offcut bin at the March retreat for Essex this year. So I got it for a really reasonable price and I think she's going to look fabulous on it. Yeah, it's got pinks and blues and purples. Yeah, I think she's going to look really good on that. And then I bought the kit, minus the pattern and the fabric, from Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies. So I've got all the DMC, Karen water lilies, and you can see all of the beads at the back. So I kind of figured I should start her. Okay. So that is everything. It's quite a bit. So like I said, if there's anything that you want to stitch along with me, then feel free to comment down below, send me a message. Yeah, I love stitching with things with people. Just, you know, it's just so nice. It creates that sense of community, you know. Yeah, become better friends with people, and yeah, it's just lovely. Anyway, I'd love, yeah, just let me know. And And I'm not saying that I'm not going to be starting anything else in 2025. Like I said earlier, there might be other things I want to start. Some of these I might not start at all, but this is my idea at the moment. So I'm going to leave it there because I think I've been talking for long enough. I'm going to go and have some lunch. I'll get this video edited later, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks perhaps for the start of my whip parades. I don't think I'm going to do a normal update. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Anyway, so happy stitching, guys. Bye.